Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome back, everyone. We are looking at Bitcoin, and today I am looking at the monthly chart. I wanted to point a few things out, and then we will go back to the other levels. So, as of right now, we are under the monthly open. Previous month was at 37.6, so that was our resistance to the upside if we did test into the 21. As of right now, we're kind of going to the downside. We have one more point of control over here at 25,200, which is with the previous wick in the I think it was last week or a week before. And then if we can't hold that level, the next level of support at the bottom of the Bollinger Band is at 20K, just a little bit above 20K. So I want you guys to keep that in mind because volume is slowing down to the downside. Where the bottom is, I don't know, but either this 25,200 will act as support, or if we tap into it, maybe it gives us the next tap to the upside. Or if we just shoot through that, since it was a wick and we just blast through that wick, we can go to the 20 and then bounce over there, 20,100, and maybe get a bounce. So let me show you that now on a weekly. Now on a weekly, we have to stay above our 29,800. And then I've told you at nauseum 28,600 was the level to hold after that. As soon as we lost 28.6, you saw this huge flood down. And now we're testing the bottom of the Bollinger Band basically, which is at 26,725. Any 4-hour open and closes under there, we're going to be probably gunning towards the wick. And then after the wick, we can look for these other naked points of control, such as 22K. I've been looking at 22, 23K area for a while as well, and then 19, 20K. So I'm looking at this area first for a bounce, and then we can see if the bounce is high enough or is a rollover. I'm waiting to see this 21 testing the 100 as well to see if it crosses down. If it crosses to the downside, we can look like lower, and then even if we tap back into it, it's going to probably be a rejection the first attempt to break back into it. So keep that in mind. The reason why I was showing you this higher time frame is because I want to point out Ethereum. So let me quickly go to Ethereum. Ethereum on the monthly is hitting its 55, and on CME we don't have too much lower, but this is perps, and I was just pointing out we can find support here at 1420, 1400 and go sideways, and then try to hat the upside, which is around 2,289, and then roll over. There's no reason we need to just shoot back down right now. If we can close this month going sideways around this level, around 1400, we can see that the next month we can look for upside since this volume is subsiding. That was the main thing I wanted to point out on the monthly. Going back to the weekly, we are under the 200 EMA, and then we are crossing as well 21 and 55. So the pressure to the downside is heavy. The volume is not slowing down as well. Okay, so going to the daily, we just tested into the 21 and we rejected. Now we swept the lows. Okay, we were saying the whole time under 1700. Okay, here's the drawings. Under 1700, we had this measured move straight down to the bottom of this channel, which is around 1400-ish, which we basically made the almost exactly what we expected for the measured move. Maybe like $100 or $20 difference, but close enough is close enough. Now it's to see if we can find support. So I expect the price to go sideways around here, and then once it goes sideways, maybe consolidate, and then we can see what kind of formation it wants to consolidate in for the upside move, because I was expecting an inverse head and shoulder formation, but obviously this got invalidated. But we can still recover this by going sideways and up. I was assuming that was it, but now we can go like this. And you know what? Let me undo. Okay, now what I was gonna do is, instead of deleting it, I'm hoping that the consolidation still occurs, but now it's going to be like this. Since we took the move to the downside, if we consolidated over here, that's one thing. But now that we took the move to the downside, I was always looking for this support around 1300. That's why this thick line is here. It's a weekly EMA. 1300 coincides with the bottom of this descending orange channel that we just broke down from. And this 1715 was the only thing holding us up. As soon as we broke down there, I was like, this measured move will start, and that's literally what happened on a 4-hour time scale. Now we are basically testing the lows because we're even under yesterday's low. So all the liquidity has been grabbed. It's about now, like, are we going to go sideways, Matt? If we get above 1590 with the 4-hour open and closes, I can see like, hey, we can try to attempt into the 21 again, which is at 1800, but it's still not like that big of a relief. We're just gonna be able to fight the 21 and see if we can make it up or not. If not, we're gonna get pushed back down and then make this accumulation formation over here, and then we'll get a pop up into the channel, orange descending channel, reject, find support, and then we'll break back up above 1700. Once we get above 1700, we can look for upside, but until we're above under 1700, I'm only looking for this accumulation formation down here to fill out, and it's going to take a few days, so maybe even until the end of July. So keep that in mind, guys. Let's go to the 4-hour real quick, and then I'll go back to Bitcoin. I know we're going a little bit backwards today, but Ethereum was the one that you got to keep an eye on, because when we were consolidating over here, I said that if Bitcoin looks decent, but if Ethereum loses it, then Ethereum is going to drag Bitcoin down, and that's literally what happened, guys. Right to our measured move. See, this is where we were expecting. We're maybe $10 above it. So sometimes TA works, guys. Sometimes TA works. And now let's see if we get accumulated in this area. Once you are above 1530 on 4-hour open and closes, you can look for some upside. And then after being this area reclaimed, you have the 21, which is at 1590-ish. So these areas is gonna be probably tested to fill out a little triangle like consolidation, and it might get rejected and then, you know, come down lower, take this liquidity. And to the downside, you have about 1380 support. We have a naked point of control over here at 1360. So right before my 1300 target, you have a $50 wiggle room. So let's see what happens. As of right now, this does not look like strength. It's looking like it's going to go sideways a little bit. Volume is subsiding. So up to this 3-hour candle to hold sideways and not retake some lows. If it does start showing you weakness, because now people are waking up and probably in a little bit of a panic, you can understand why we'll go to the downside. Now the reason why I would say be careful, okay, CME wise, Bitcoin closed at 29,150. Ethereum closed at 1676. Okay, that's great. So what did I just say for the levels to be warned about? So around 1530 to the upside, if we get 4-hour open and closes there, keep in mind we can shoot up to get back to the CME close level, which was 1660. And that's right around here, which is the previous high. So we can totally go up from here, test the 21. Once you have 4-hour open and closes in this area, you should be very wary that, hey, we can shoot up and retest where we closed at on CME and then roll over, because of the fact that all the people who are shorting are going to get tested when this comes up. And then when people panic and FOMO into that position, thinking, all right, bottom's in, then we'll roll over, because the CME is going to have a huge gap. So are we going to fill it or not? Let's figure that out, because that's a $200 gap on Ethereum, and on Bitcoin, that's about $1,500 gap on Bitcoin, from 27,000 all the way to 28,900. Yeah, 29,100 is where the CME closed. And it does look like it closed right on our support fib. So we can totally go sideways and up from here when it opens. But the thing is are we going to have a gap down open and then fill? Like, say we have a gap down open from, where are we at, 27? So say we open over here with CME, I would expect a quick move up and then a roll down effect. And then we can see if we're going to find support and then go up. If we don't find support, we can break this level down and then we could go to the next target, because you got to retest these lows right here. So it's like not unlikely for us to come test these lows after the gap down open, because we're opening all the way down here under my fibs. So we can just shoot down and then come back to fill this gap way later. So yeah, guys, be very, very careful. I did not take my long, because I did not get the weekly confirmation the way I needed it. it actually showed it closed under my levels on the weekly. So I'm gonna wait and see how that plays out for next whole week. This inflation report and everything got everyone a little bit shook. Oops. So I'm gonna be looking for this consolidation area to get filled. I'm looking for around 17 on Bitcoin, around 19 to 1700. After we come all the way down here, I expect this to fill out over the next few weeks. And then I'm looking for my attempt, and it looks like my fib time is saying January. So technically June, July, August, October, September, all of that is just going to be finding the bottom, grinding it out, accumulation of the lows, and then an upward move is what I'm assuming. So as of right now, I'm not in a rush to do anything. I think you guys should be very careful with your trades. And then here's another thing I'll put up just for fun for me. It looks like when we do go to the upside, we'll test that. When we do go to the downside, that's what I'm looking at. So I'll just leave that there for now. I mean, that's pretty retail, but I'll leave that there for now. And let's see how this plays out. This should be a little bit lower, technically. Let me redo. If we're gonna do this, might as well do it right. I just want to make sure, yeah, it is this channel right there like that. So yeah, let's see what happens. I'm gonna leave all this here like this, and we'll follow up a little bit later. And yeah, this lower end can be a little bit lower. Yeah. On it like that. So that way it encompasses my level. So this channel, descending channel, if it plays out, if we go under the midline, I'm looking for it to come into my levels. I'm gonna leave this here because it looks like it is pretty reasonable of a channel. So let's see. Right now we are already under 27.4. Are we gonna hold this midline? If the midline loses its support, I'm expecting the next measured move to kick in right to the 22 area. And if the 22 area doesn't give us our bounce and rise up, I'm looking for that to break into my next actual, real, ideal accumulation zone. And I know those numbers don't look good, but I've been looking for these levels for weeks. So I'm gonna just stick to my TA, guys, and feel free to bash me in the comments and tell me I'm wrong. But so far, my doodles are winning. I expected this to be a head and shoulder. So even though we're losing right now to the downside, I expect us to test back into 28,100 one more time and then roll over. So that way this little last area can be filled out as well. So maybe we go down a little bit sideways and then roll up, take the highs, test like 28.7, 29K area, and then roll back down because that's where CME closed. So that does actually make logical sense. So that's what I'm looking for, guys, on Bitcoin and Ethereum. If you guys have any questions or concerns, please leave it in the section below. I will follow up. I had some fib targets. There you go. That's what I was looking for. So this was the other chart that I had. Remember, we were saying like this consolidation, if it breaks out to the downside, we had one move and another move. Well, the first move is basically just filled. 26.8 was the support. If that breaks, then we're looking for the next lower levels at like around 22. For this larger move, because this larger candle is the measured move from a one-to-one extension from our original drop. So yeah, this little move is the consolidation of the triangle, which we already basically hit. The larger move is going to be from the higher time frames. Like I was saying, I expect us to go down and grind down these lows and fill it out as per my other chart, as per this chart, until almost December. And that's actually happened before. If any of you guys have been around a few bear markets, we did this exact same situation back in like 2018, I believe, where we grinded out. Yeah, and then we lost the lows. Where was it? I think it was around here. I forgot exactly when. Right here. This is where it was. So it was 2018. I totally remember this. It was so epic. All the people were assuming this was an inverse head and shoulder. And what happened was we flushed the bottom. And then we're like, oh yeah, this is bottom, this is bottom. We're consolidating the lows. And then it just swept lower and took all the liquidity. I remember this and it was epic. I lost money on this trade, even though it was so obvious it was going to break the lows to sweep for liquidity. I just was too naive at that point, thinking Bitcoin is the savior of the financial markets. And yeah, it totally looked, everyone was discouraged once this 200 EMA was broken. And then we finally grinded for like weeks going sideways, and then we took out the tops after we took over the 200. 21 tested into it. Let's see how's that looking right now. So right now, if that same scenario plays out, yeah, we're under 200, but the 21 EMA is so far up there, so we would need 5-6 more weeks of just going sideways for this 21 EMA to come slowly down with each open and close. And then finally, this 21 EMA needs to touch this 200, not cross it, and then the rally occurred. So now we know what we're looking for. There you go. Now I'm going to be even more patient. I am not going to rush. I'm going to wait for this 21 EMA to see if this holds on the 100. If it breaks the 100 to a little bit lower, then I'll know for sure. I'm going to wait for the 200 and the 21 EMA to touch before I look for my longs. That's how mean Bitcoin is, guys. I've learned it the hard way, so don't learn it. Learn it the easy way by other people's mistakes. Don't do it the way that we did it. Oh, yeah, that was rough. That was a rough time. All right, guys. Well, aside from that, if you guys have any questions or concerns, leave it in the comment section below. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and press the bell button notification button so you get these real-time updates. There's also an amazing Discord group in the description of the video below. You feel free to join. I have a lot of awesome traders there who are all with their own style and method, and they all are pretty good. And you'll see all the P&Ls over there. And yeah, people are making a lot of money on this market. They know how to trade the range. We've been ranging between this 28.6 and 32.7 for weeks, guys. Weeks and weeks and weeks. We had this 21 and 55 squeeze us down, and I was looking for that downward move right here. Like I was showing you in 2018, I was expecting it to come down because I noticed this formation. And what happened? They took out all the stops of the shorts, all the money, and then they brought it back down and even under. So they took out all the shorts, took all their money, let all these longs come in, and then liquidated the longs. The market maker made a lot of money during this consolidation, guys. And so did all the people who shorted the top and longed the bottom because of this range. You know, if you're trading the range, that's what you're supposed to do. So right now, we're about to form a new range, hopefully not. And then if it just goes sideways here and comes back into the range, well, now you have green light to take your long with a stop below because we're back in the range. And then if the range holds, that's great. But if your stop hits, you're not going to be upset because that was the right thing to do. I mean, right now, people are taking shorts with the stop above, or they're taking longs with the stop below. Both are very reasonable. You see what I'm looking for, my TA. I was looking for this rolling over effect for like a while. And what happened was Ethereum is the one that shit the bed and brought Bitcoin down with it. And that's totally reasonable. Now let's see if this price action is going to play out and actually find support on the middle of the channel, or if the middle of the channel is going to break and the next measured move comes in and it's going to tap all these naked point of controls. 90% sure that if this move occurs, it's going to happen as soon as CME opens at 6 p.m. Central, between 8 p.m. Central for the weekly candle close. Because as of right now, the weekly candle is, I believe, closing outside the Bollinger Band. Let me just verify that. Move all these drawings. Yeah, no, we're not going to close outside the Bollinger Band unless we close under 26,735 today. So that's for Bitcoin today, 26,735. Keep your guys' eye out for that level. If we lose it, we're probably going to shoot for the bottom of that wick. And then the weekly will close outside the Bollinger Band, and we're going to probably continue lower next whole week before we go back up. And then the realistic of the 22 area will be possible then. And let me just check Ethereum. I think Ethereum was in a way weaker stance. Yes, Ethereum is in a very weak stance. We are outside of the Bollinger Band on Ethereum. and closing like this under the 200 and outside the Bollinger Band, next week, even if we do get a rally, I'm not looking for it to go above 1629. I'm looking for 1629 to just reject it to the downside, and then we're going to have one whole week of at least sideways consolidation before just popping back to the upside. So yeah, guys, this is all the levels I want you guys to be aware of. Make sure you're careful, low leverage. When your trade is right, then you can leverage up, but until then, keep it low. There's going to be a lot of games during CME open, and then especially 9:30 on Monday when the market's open, there's going to be a heck of volume influx due to that inflation report. A lot of people are going to position themselves in a different stance for this quarter because this is not the normal market conditions. And right now, Ethereum selling is actually increasing. It has not been decreasing. So just be warned, guys. I think Ethereum will be dragging Bitcoin down. And I mean, yeah, if you look at Ethereum on CME, Ethereum has never made new lows. I don't even have 100 or a 200 EMA to populate, but we're under basically the Bollinger Band, and right there is the bottom, 1600. So if we open CME and we close CME under 1600 today, then I don't know how we're not going to just continue down to the downside, guys. And then let's see this level over here tap around 1300 or 1400 and see if that gives us the support and sideways move before up. But once we lose 13, 14, then there's going to be much different targets to be looking at to the downside. And I'm actually going to do this because we're back in this range. No, that does not work. I would need to focus. There you go. That's more reason. I'll hold this one because we're actually back in this order block. So technically this is the one I should be going off of, not this. So yeah, let's just leave all this stuff like this. I'm gonna make these extend. And I'm gonna make those thick ones. Yeah, I'm sorry for you guys who hate all my lines, but the reason why I'm doing that is so that we understand that we're in that order block. You know what, I'll make them thin lines. That's too thick for us to even see below. There you go. I'll keep them super thin, but this thicker lines is where we're at now, and since we just lost the 1685, I'm going to look for this 1600 and then the 1513. These pink lines are naked point of controls which can possibly bounce it, but yeah, I'm going to look for these 1370s, 1200. Yeah, so that's what we're going to be looking for, guys, these levels down here, and seeing if they actually come into hit due to the fact that we're back in that order block. Alright guys, no matter what happens, don't forget I love you. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys for the open tomorrow.